Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I added some stamped images and elements into my funky chunky journal. So I had this idea that I wanted to add a little bit of an arty element throughout the journal. So from the front to the back, I want these little pops of artistic things peeking through. So I grabbed my paper elements book from Marlene, and I took out some elements. There's a scissor, and then there's this clip. There's a picture of an eraser, and also the sticky glue. And I just want to add them here and there into my journal. So I started off with the clip. I thought that was quite cute. And I'm just going to use a little bit of my master board that we had made previously. I'm going to stick that down flat with some wet glue, and then I'll position the clip so it looks like it's holding it onto the page. Cute. I'm going to add a little doodly border around that little card. I guess you could call it a card, and that just rounded off the image for me. And then the little bit that was sticking out at the top there, I've just covered with a little rose, again from Marlene, of course. Now I'm looking for a spot for the scissors. And I found this pink page, and I think at the end of this journal, this page actually turned out to be my favorite one. So just the scissor felt a little bit lost or lonely on the page. So I added some dots with the Lots of Dots stencil. First with white on the pink side, and then on the creamy side I went in with pink dots. And look how cute that is. And I'm going to finish off the page just by making a doodly border all around. So I'm doing 2 lines, and they are scribbly, they're not perfect. I want them that way. And that just finished off the whole page for me. And I think after there's some journaling done onto that page, it's going to look really nice. The eraser is going right in the front of the journal where I put those 2 green flowers. I wanted to just stick something in between them for a little bit of an arty element. Then I grabbed out this Artist Diary cling stamp set from Marlene. I love this stamp set. I've used the Girl plenty of times, and I really like the fact that Marlene created some paint. There's a paint tube, a paintbrush, a pencil, and a paint palette. And they're just so fun to use all over and put them into like little unexpected places in my work. So I'm stamping them all out 2 or 3 times. I also did this little scallopy border. I did color that in, but when I cut it out, it just started tearing, so I dumped it. I'll leave that for something else another day. And I'm just going to use my alcohol markers to color these. So they'll be all brightly colors. So my journal has the color theme pink, naturally. Pink, orange, there's a turquoisey blue, yellow, and a little bit of green. So I'm just sticking those to those colors, and I'm just adding color as I go. I don't really have a plan. I'm just grabbing a color and putting it down because they all work really well together. So it doesn't really matter how they are combined. They just work well together. I really like mass making stamped images. So you know that layered flower stamp. I've done so many flowers already. I stamp out a whole page full, and then I often take it away, like when we watch TV in the evening, and then I'll sit and color them and add shading, and then I'll, cut them. And then I just have a stash of things ready to use. So these I just made enough to use in the journal. I didn't make extras, but I think I might. Okay, then I'm going to cut all of these out. I'm not going to make you watch me cut them all out. That would be horrendous to watch. So at the end, I go around all of them with it's a dark grey, almost black alcohol ink marker. This just, to me, it's such a small step to do. It does take a little bit of time, but really not all that much. But in the end, it really makes such a difference to the image. It just finishes it off. It covers that white edge. And yeah, I think it just takes that image to a whole different level. So for the little paint palette, it had obviously the hole where your finger would go in. And I just used my paper punch and punched through that for that hole. And then I also just edged the inside of that with my alcohol ink. I'm sorry, I see now that my book is off camera. I'm hoping that in time I will move it up again. So sorry about that. And I'm just creating these little clusters here, there, and everywhere. And I am trying to make sure that I've got some of these elements in each one of the signatures. So it doesn't have to be on every page, but I think my book has 4 signatures. So I am making sure that I at least have one or two of them in each signature, just to create that cohesiveness all throughout the journal. So I've got the butterflies everywhere. Things are quite floral, and now I'm adding the little arty bits as well. So all of the pages look connected. Nothing is kind of random and doesn't make sense. The sticky glue image I just put into one of the pockets, but then when I paged through again, I thought, no, I don't like it there. So I'm just sticking it down again onto a different page. And you'll see me, I'm going back and forth, flipping to the front, flipping to the back. And this is just really to check if things are looking, I want to say balanced, but I really don't like saying balanced, but I just want things to look right. So I am coming to the end of this journal. I think I've got 2 more videos coming up, and then it'll be the end. So at this stage, I'm trying to make sure that things are refined. When I page through and I see something, I kind of stop and fix it and make it the way I want it. For now, I've gone into the stamp set called Jar, or I don't know. It's got a big jar and a fairy, and it's got these tiny little butterfly stamps as well. And I decided to just add some of these stamps onto some spaces that I just felt was a little bit empty and it just needed a little something there. Some of them I'm going through and I'm coloring them in with Marlene's paint pens. So on that other page there, I went in with pink paint pen, a light pink, and then the other side is the darker pink. So I just added a little bit of shadowing work there. This one I'm doing all of them in the turquoise color, again starting with light and then darkening up the shadowy bits with blue. I'm not trying to be too detailed with this, but I do like adding just a touch of color. So I put away my stamp, and then I saw that little label looking stamp as well. So it's a label, and it's got like a scallopy border. And then I just pulled out some of the pages or the papers that I've already used in the journal, and I'm stamping it out on a couple of those papers. And my idea was that I would fill some pockets with it, and I did do that. But I also think I stuck down a few of them using my glue stick. So I've got them stamped out, then I'll cut them, and then after I cut them, I did add a little bit of color just on some of them around the edges there. I really like the way the pink one came out. Then on one of them I added a black border, and I really did not like that. So it is still in my journal somewhere. I did put it in there, but this one's not my favorite one. The pink one is definitely my favorite one. And you can see, because I didn't like it, now I'm going in with a little bit of white to try and rectify that. The white made me feel a little bit better. And then this one, I'm doing that same turquoisey color all around, and then I'll outline. No, I did not outline with the darker color. So now I'm just going to look for spots where they would go into, and popping them into pockets here and there and everywhere. And I wanted to just fill this pocket. I know that I'm still going to decorate it in the front, or at least at that moment I thought that I would. And then just so I can remember that there's a pocket there. Otherwise I might forget, because it's not a very obvious pocket. All right, that's about it for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Please let me know in the comments what you think about these stamped images. Like and subscribe if you have not done so yet, and I will chat to you again soon. Bye.